Welcome back to the Happy Hour Racing Wednesday Tech Breakdown. Today, why road courses cook a NASCAR brake and what a brake duct does about it. A brake does not erase speed, it turns that speed into heat. A pad clamps a spinning metal disc called a rotor, and that friction makes heat, like your hands warming up when you rub them together. A 3,400-pound car slowing from 180 to 40 miles an hour makes a lot of heat, and it makes it fast. A NASCAR rotor can reach about 1,800 degrees. That is hot enough to glow orange. That is why you see brakes lighting up in night races. The rotors are cast iron, like a heavy skillet, because cast iron takes the abuse and shrugs it off. But even a skillet has a limit, and that limit is the whole story of a road course. At a superspeedway, the brakes stay cold. At a road course, the driver stands on them into every corner. The brakes work about 30% of the race, and the pedal push can hit around 175 pounds. The heat never gets a chance to leave before the next corner piles more on top. That is what cooking the brakes means. So meet the hardware. The next-gen car runs a single brake supplier, AP Racing. Up front, a cast iron rotor a little under 13 inches across, squeezed by a caliper with up to 6 pistons. The rear runs a smaller setup with up to 4. The front brakes do most of the work because the car dives forward when it slows and loads the front tires. Teams even get 2 rotor choices, a heavy-duty one with more metal to soak up heat, and a lighter one to save weight on a track that barely brakes. So what does a brake duct actually do? It is an opening in the front bumper with a hose behind it that funnels outside air straight onto the hot rotor. Picture pointing a fan at a hot pan. Here is the clever part. Teams can tape over part of that duct. Tape it up, and the brakes hold heat and bite harder. Open it wide, and it dumps as much heat as it can. The tape works like a thermostat. This matters more in 2026. Teams are sealing the car up tight for downforce, and that starves the brakes of air. It backfired at Nashville, where several cars broke a right front rotor and lost their day. Watch for it yourself. When a driver locks up a front tire and slides straight, the brakes are overworked or the bias is off. At a road course or a heavy short track like Martinsville, look for the front rotors glowing bright orange into the corners, brightest at night. The bottom line: a brake turns speed into heat, and a brake duct is how the car sheds that heat before it does damage. More air means cooler brakes. Less air means more speed and more risk. Now you can call it before the crack happens. Follow Happy Hour Racing for a new tech breakdown every Wednesday.